Hi, and welcome back to Katie's Corner in Space. I'm Katie, and as we prepare for the Winchesters, I've covered John and Mary, the upcoming characters joining them, as well as the premise and issues that will come up because of the stories already told on Supernatural. Some easily explained away, others not so much. But I only touched on Jensen and Danneel's COVID inspiration, something I've really been looking forward to digging into. And since the time draws ever nearer, I think I've put off getting into the backstory, inspiration, drama, then finally happy news of the prequel's creation long enough. Before I continue, as I'm just getting started with the Winchesters, this is a good time to hit that subscribe button below so you'll get a heads up whenever a new video is ready. Feel free to like and comment below as well. I do try to read each comment and nearly always respond in some way to those that touch on a good point. It wasn't so long ago the world became a ghost town and we were all locked up trying new hobbies, breads, and ways to keep from losing our minds. I'm not going to rehash something every single living being who could possibly view this video knows. Myself, I tried painting, remodeling an RV, painting the windows. Oh, and somewhere after everyone was vaccinated and things started getting back to normal, I considered starting a YouTube channel for RV travel and decided to test out how YouTube works by creating a channel about all the TV I watch. Admittedly, that TV hobby has been lifelong. But our guy Jensen and his wife, they decided to expand a universe. Slackers. Don't get me wrong, those two got a little silly with their hobbies too. But they did get the ball rolling for a possible Supernatural prequel. Now, I think most Supernatural fans, well, I shouldn't say most. I think the anxious fans freaked at the thought we might actually lose our finale after 15 years. So we hung on any appearance of both Jensen and Jared. I mean, I don't think I was actually expecting anyone to let the ending slip, but I for one just wanted to be sure we'd get one. So I watched my interviews, I read my online articles, but even I was surprised when rumors of another try at a prequel turned into announcements and the drama was revealed. It was just wild, the order in which information came and in how fans reacted. Honestly, I was dumbfounded by the insinuation Jensen had somehow done Jared wrong, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start with Jensen, lockdown, and the simmering of an idea. Now, during lockdown, like many actors suddenly without a project, he and his wife Danneel tried putting together a project to keep themselves creatively busy. While he describes the project akin to John Krasinski's Good News, I would compare it to The Seventh Rule. The idea being a rewatch of select Supernatural episodes while the family Ackles does commentary or a discussion about the episode. And while the CW liked it and attempted to pick it up, ultimately it was more project than the family really wanted to take on. But the experience inspired discussions between the couple, and after some bouncing around of ideas, a concept arose, one involving characters familiar to the Supernatural universe, and in fact, Jensen credits Danneel for coming up with the idea of the story revolving around John and Mary specifically. This was apparently back in 2020, but not a year later, networks and studios were involved, and it looked like the Winchesters was getting greenlit. Kripke himself had signed off on the project with his blessing. Unfortunately, one of the people Jensen most wanted to tell was not in the loop. You see, while the Supernatural might not be a real worry in Jensen's life, superstition is. And he has deeply held beliefs one does not share work news until it's confirmed.
For those who know me, know that I'm extremely superstitious when it comes to a few things.
That's one thing I learned early on is don't talk about auditions ever.
And one of those is we don't talk about auditions until we got the role.
100%.
You know, you don't talk about until it's a done deal, until the ink is dried.
At this point, there wasn't even a script, much less a firm pilot to announce to family and friends, which meant Jared Padalecki, Sam to Jensen's Dean, was completely in the dark until the media released the news. Of course, Jensen, by now on the set of The Boys playing its newest character, Soldier Boy, had a heads up the news about the prequel being considered was going to be released, and quickly made statements online in the few moments he had between time on set and visits to his trailer. But he hadn't had time to call people personally. All things being equal, Jared found out like the rest of us, online, when he rightly felt he should have been informed personally and before the rest of the world had found out. But after a tweet made out of hurt arose, the two former on-screen brothers had a talk, and when all things were said and done, even Jared had to admit Jensen went about the creation of the new show the way he should have.
We had a laugh and a cry, man.
Really?
And I think he and I would both rather things had gone down a different way.
And Jensen just wished he'd had the chance to tell Jared earlier.
And I had a long text from Jared, and he was really bummed out. And I just remember my heart just sank. I was just like, and he totally got it. And
Now, I could share that infamous tweet, but it was divisive, and when it came down to it, caused undue tantrums for personal business concerns, which, guess what, don't actually concern us fans. Though the internet went insane for a little while, the issue was resolved between the two of them, and we haven't heard more complaints since. Jared has said he's ready to help if needed, and Jensen has worked with him on Walker since. By February 2022, a pilot was ordered, and it wasn't long before announcements of casting and filming started. I'll be honest, try as I might, the behind-the-scenes information is all but non-existent, but for official releases of trailers and posters, along with more casting announcements. And if you've happened upon my Droughtlander updates, you know how I wish I had some good behind-the-scenes tics or clips, something. But alas, no. However, Jensen had something like this to say to the new John and Mary, played by Drake Roger and Meg Donnelly. He says, "This isn't just coming on to a new thing. This is something that has 15 years of intense storytelling, and you guys are representative of this thing we built, of the family. And there's a big population of people that are very protective of the story and these characters. And you are the new stewards of this, and you need to understand the weight of that, and you need to understand how important it is to treat this with care and respect." As Jensen continues to the side, because I'm like, listen, I didn't work my ass off for 15 years to have you kids come in here and F it up. That last part was said in jest, just to be clear. He may have been joking, but as someone who has been a fan since episode 1, before that even, as the entire reason I tried Supernatural was because I really enjoyed Jensen on both Dark Angel and his brief arc on Smallville. Though I admit I am so glad Dean turned out snarky like Alec from Dark Angel.
I hate to lose, but I'm not wishing the guy dead.
His delivery of Dean's lines are why I stuck around, but the crazy, expansive stories and subplots kept me coming back. So Supernatural is a firm foundation to build this story on. Jensen's involvement, his statement of respect for the mothership, as he called Supernatural, and so many other reasons are why I'm looking forward to the Winchesters. I can't wait to discover how the timeline issues are resolved, because I have some amount of faith they will be. How do you think they'll explain the missing rather than killed Samuel? That death has got to be honored somehow. And of course, I'm very interested in just what John learns that we didn't already know from Supernatural and the flashback episodes. If you'd like to catch up on John, Mary, and the backstory we already know, then head over to the playlist for the Winchesters now. You can catch up on the characters, the storyline, and more. And I'll see you there.